Cuts to the $5.6 billion transport sector allocations has obstructed the $175 million set aside for the completion and rehabilitation of hinterland and coastal airstrips, a most frightening development according to the indigenous population that depend on the upkeep of this physical infrastructure.
How would the Amerindian people, how would the Amerindian communities receive their not only medical supplies, but also how would emergencies from the hinterland be handled? Because those resources, those budgetary allocations will certainly would go to the improvements of the airstrip, right, or the airstrips in the country as a whole. So certainly it will affect the health of the people in those areas. How will emergency situations be handled? This is what we are concerned about. The movement of people in the hinterlands to Georgetown, as we all know, that business on the whole has increased tremendously, and hinterland peoples, the American peoples, are very much dependent on aircrafts now to take them out to Georgetown. It will certainly affect the health situation as well as the economic situation of the Amerindian peoples of this country.
Not only the air transport, but the road also, the deplorable conditions of the road in the interior that we have to use to go into our daily basis, work on long time basis, is really going to be effective, because we were depending to it to develop the air transportation by developing the deplorable airstrip conditions in places like Oku and other back dams where I work, and so it is beneficial when before private owners used to transport people in and out of the interior safely and faster in times of sickness, malaria cases and whatever, but now it has been in a deplorable state.
When one take into consideration the impact of these critical air link from the center of our commercial center to the areas that are remote within these communities, it is actually going to cause a downslide in the progress that already have been achieved, and it will put a lot of economic and social pressures on the Amerindians who live within the subregion. For example, in the Matthews Ridge subregion, it is a thriving subregion now after years of stagnation on the before we came into office, and with the kind of industry that has picked up over the last 3 years within that subregion, whereby even the manganese company, Manganese Reunion, have come back to invest in Guyana. We've seen the gold mining sector also improving, and we have seen the investment that this government has made in relation to health and education services and service delivery to the people, including the initiatives of the many villages. In fact, there are about 15 Amerindian villages within this subregion who depend quite a lot on the air link, and this will definitely bring to bear a lot of pressure on their movements, not only as individuals, but it will bring to bear pressure on their economic activities, because they depend a lot on the air transport to bring in goods and also to conduct business.
In Lethem itself, we have 4 air services landing there, over 15 flights for the week, and it's money towards us because people are passing through. Tourism is getting greater with us, and if you're going to do something like this, and I think we were heading towards an international airport, and if that is going to happen, that has happened, well, then nothing can move further. And it's going to hamper not only Latham Airstrip, more so the Ogle Airdrome, because that is where all the flights depart from.
And this came as a shock because Guyana has just observed 100 years of aviation history. And it don't augurs well because the focus on hinterland airstrips, these airstrips has always played a vital role in the development of the regions, more so with the health sector, in getting patients, medivacs and so in out of the region. So it was a shock hearing that this morning.